Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a motorcycle racing TV show, Team Chicago Challenge. My email is teamdan45@gmail.com. My website is teamchicago.tv. And one of these days I'm going to upgrade it. So we're in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, Wadsworth County Fair, a nice cushion track. I've been working on my Triumph. I'm coming up here mainly to test. If I do okay, I do okay, but I'm changed the ignition on my Triumph. It seems to be working pretty good. So I'm going to shoot some of the action here. I'm going to show you some of the old footage that I have going all the way back to 1987 with my good friend Timmy Farrell winning the junior main out here. So let's see what happens here. I got to talk to my good friend Joe Stoppleworth, who I believe was the open class or the 650 twin class national championship ice racer a couple years ago. And me and Joe had many, many races together. So we'll hear from Joe in just a little bit. Let's see what's going on right here at Elkhorn. And remember my email, teamdan45@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you and let me know what you think of these productions I'm putting up on YouTube.
The first race we're looking at is the vintage class. I believe the vintage class is any bikes built before 1980. I believe that's what the rules are. As we see Tony Giorno on a Boltaco, I don't know if that's a 360 or 250, but making a move on the inside here. It looks like Rick Reed, and I believe he's on that Rotex, which is a 600 or 500 cc four-stroke. Third place is Mark Martinage. As we swing the camera, we see Rick Reed with the Rotex. Got a little more horsepower in that 500, 600 cc four-stroke. Tony Giorno's not letting him get by as he takes the outside line on that Boltaco Astro, a very pretty Boltaco. This time by, it looks like Rick Reed has got just a little bit of advantage with the horsepower over that 360 or 250 Boltaco as they race on this beautiful cushion track in Wisconsin. And it is Rick Reed going on to pick up the win. First heat race, vintage class, AMA racing right here at the Wadsworth County Fairgrounds, Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Second heat race, jumping up front. It's like Terry Vestal on that Sportster, Harley-Davidson. Right there is Shane Westpaw. Also, Lewis Landers is trying to get by. As we see Shane Westpaw running in second place. Lou Landers is running in third place. Terry Vestal's on that Hughes Harley-Davidson Sportster. Also Redline Cycles and Bell Helmets is his sponsor. Terry Vestal, he always goes good right here at this racetrack on that Harley-Davidson Sportster. And that's the same bike he will be riding later in the Hooligans class. And this is the final event for vintage bikes. Jumping out front gets Terry Vestal, second place. Looks like Rick Reed on that Rolodex, also right there. Tony Giorno on the Boltaco, 1, 2, and 3. Coming by now, we see a battle for third. We got Shane Westpaw is battling with Tony Giorno, so we got, I believe that's a Harley up against that Boltaco. But looking great, my good friend, Terry Vestal. He's been racing this track probably every time they've had a race, whether it's a pro race, whether it's an amateur race. And he feels quite at home with them Sportsters. Second place is Rick Reed on the Rotex. Battle continues for third place between Westpaw and Giorno. Rick Reed running good solid second place. Third place now. Still Tony Giorno's running third, fourth place. And Shane Westpaw. And as Terry Vestal goes on to pick up the win, I had a chance to talk to my good friend Joe Stoppleworth, who is the Vice President of AMA District 16.
Joe Stoppleworth from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. We're down here at the Walworth County Fairgrounds in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. We're going to be at a pea gravel track today, or limestone, depending what side of the country you come from, however you want to call it. Bikes will be going fast, half-mile track, throwing it sideways, throwing the limestone up against the fence. You don't want to be standing along the fence. You're going to get sandblasted. So we're here for a good time. Walworth County Fairgrounds, Elkhorn.
So Joe, I see you are now Vice President of District 16. So tell me a little bit, what is AMA District 16?
Voted in by my peers.
Right.
Yeah, to be a Vice President of District 16, which is Wisconsin and Upper Michigan, motocross, dirt track, hill climb, trials. We also do recreational riding here. And voted in by my peers. I guess they like how I volunteer for different events, but we do ice racing. We have held ice race nationals in the state already. Hopefully it'll be in 2023 also. Home of the Steel Shoe Fund. It's a 3-hour endurance race for injured dirt track racers. Be the 4th weekend in January. It's always a good time. 3 hours on an 8-mile road course set up by Jeff Fredette, National Enduro racer. Jeff Fredette out of Illinois. It's always a good time.
Thank you, Joe. And now we get to see the action in the 80 single class. It's for single-cylinder motorcycles built all the way up to the end of 1980. And up front, looks like Rick Reed on that Rotex. Now, like I said, I don't know if it's a 600 or a 500, but it's the older style. It's a single cam Rotex engine. I don't know what frame he's got, but he goes on to pick up the win in this event. No problem. Rick's a great dirt tracker, and he takes it very seriously. Now we're looking at plus 40. This is for riders over 40 years old. Up front, we see a battle going on between Serge Figueroa and Philip Jerks, trying to make a move. Looks like 77, Danny Peterson in 3rd place. Now Danny Peterson has moved to 2nd place as he puts Serge in his target. Danny Peterson, who grew up in Chicago. The ice race at the Mineola Hotel was him and Timmy Farrow battling out in the 125 class back in 1978 and 79. As we see Serge Figueroa is still up front. Danny Peterson running 2nd. 3rd place looks like Philip Jerks. 4th place looks like John Bosovich. And this is the final event, plus 40 class. Danny Peterson gets a wonderful start. He's up front. Got a battle going on for 2nd between Tom Haxbooth, number 13, and 31 is Terry Johnson. Danny Peterson and pouring on the coals. Battle for 2nd continues to heat up between Hootsmutz and Johnson. We got Yamaha up against a Rotex battling for 2nd place. On the move though, looks like Serge Figueroa on the Suzuki. He's trying to get by this battle in twosome as Danny Peterson comes by one more time. He is sponsored by MCC and he's riding a 450 KTM. You see Serge is trying to make his move up. That's Serge Figueroa on the Suzuki. Roy Johnson dropping back. Tom Hootsman is still battling for 2nd. Danny Peterson is stretching his lead. Riders over 40 years old on this beautiful half-mile track. Danny Peterson continues the lead. Moving up to 2nd place, looks like Serge Figueroa Third place is now Tom Husmet. Scott Walker is fourth. Philip Jerks is running in fifth place. And as Danny Peterson goes on to pick up the win in the plus 40 class, we're going to head back to 2018, and I'm going to show you some helmet cam footage so that you can see what this racetrack looks like. This is the big bike practice. I'm going out right behind Terry Vestal. I'm on my Triumph. I'm going to take it nice and easy the first lap to see how the track is. As we go down the back chute. This is a limestone or cushion track, pea gravel. I'm trying the center of the track right now to see what that feels like. It's a very fast track, and it's wide, and it's a beautiful cushion. Basically, in a cushion, you steer with the rear wheel. You shift up the fourth gear. You don't shift four-stroke like this Triumph. Now I'm trying the middle of the track a little bit more. I head down the back straight. The Triumph's running okay. It's a beautiful day in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, and now we're going to jump back to 1987. The Amateur National on Saturday, the Carol West Weber Classic on Sunday. This is my first motorcycle racing TV show on my program called The Other Side.
July 11th, 1987, Elkhorn, Wadsworth County Fairground, Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Scene of the Amateur National, AMA, Amateur National. This first race in the 500 class. Moving out front, Larry Graham, all the way from Baltimore, Maryland, to take on the challenges of this half-mile racetrack located 5 miles north of Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Chasing Larry around is Steve Beatty from Burlington, Ontario, Canada. 500 class at this Amateur National Championship. This is the action. Amateur National, top riders in the nation came to Elkhorn today.
Yes, we spot my late great friend running number 9 on his bike, 106 on the back of his leathers. That's Don Herring. And I should point out it was Larry Pegram picking up the win in the 500 class, and he went on to be a real well-known great road racer.
And here we got the beginning of the open class. Open any size, any age. Up front again, Harley-Davidson mounted. Mike Hale from Carrollton, Texas. Oop. Yellow flag out. There's a rider down next to the camera. Jumping out on the restart. Mike Hale from Carrollton, Texas. Harley-Davidson mounted in this open class Amateur National Championship race at beautiful Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Watch him now. Todd Severson running fourth, making moves. Gonna move on up. Right now, first place, Mike Hale, Carrollton, Texas.
Mike Hale, a famous flat track racer, picking up the win. Todd Stevenson finished second.
Another race. Senior class. This is the senior class. These are for riders over 40 years old. John Warner from Millington, Michigan, jumping up front. Moving out. Second place, Dan Crawford. This is some of the action that we seen Saturday, July 11th. Beautiful Elkhorn at the AMA Amateur National.
It was Jack Warren adding to the hundreds of half-mile wins in his career as we see Ray Schmitt from Chicago. Now we're going to hear from Joe Campbell.
This afternoon, you're going to see the cream of the Middle West on the world's most powerful motorcycles. Spine-tingling rides by the world's greatest sportsmen. More thing than airplane stunts or any other spectacular sport. Say, hi-ho, my name is Joe. I come to tell you about our show. We have some racers from far and near who make you stand right up and cheer. I'm going to tell you who they are, how they ride, and how they star, what they wear, and how they look. Just jot their names down in your book. There's John and Joe and Jim and Jake. Why, better racers they don't make. The track is fast, the racers too. Each one wears an iron shoe. From a standing start they roar away. Each one bound he'll win today. Watch 'em broad slide round those turns. Smell a rubber when it burns. Each machine is tuned to perfection. Stay back from the fence for your own protection. A grander group you'll never meet. During the race, please stay in your seat. Stay off the track while the race is on, or they'll take you home in a basket, son. Anything can happen once we begin, and we're going to begin the races this afternoon with the National Anthem.
That was Joe Campbell, the voice of motorcycle flat track racing in Wisconsin in the 1960s to the 1980s. And now we're going to look at one of the pro races on Sunday.
Turn to the racing action. Junior final, Elkhorn. This is for the bucks. This is for the money. Front row, 42P, Tim Farrell. 41P, Dave Camlin. 84K, Jim Sumner is 84P. Mark Hudson. Let's watch this start. Timmy Farrell out of Oak Park, Illinois, in the middle of the front row. Let's listen to Joe Campbell, from the #1 announcer in Wisconsin, call this race.
42 up there in front. We got number 41, Dave Camlin, as he passed here, was in second. Mark Hudson was in third. See if they can hold on to that now as they come down the stretch. Here they come.
Turn to Timmy Farrell, Oak Park, Illinois. Second place, Dave Camlin. Third place, Jim Sumner. Fourth place, Mark Hudson. Timmy Farrell, sponsored by Illinois Harley-Davidson, picks up the win in his junior final at the Carroll West Weber Championship race.
Yes, it was my good friend, Timmy Farrell, picking up the win in the junior class, 1987. And I got to thank Bill Wilt, the late, great Bill Wilt, providing some of this footage as we see some of the lovely ladies of motorsports handing out the trophy to Tim Farrell. And now we're going to look at the Hooligans' first heat race. They line up Elkhorn, Wadsworth County Fair, this beautiful half-mile track. And as the green flag flies, we're off the line, leading into turn 3 and 4. Looks like Ethan Rosine on the Harley-Davidson. Second place looks like Blake Berry, and he's on a Honda 750. This is Hooligans race. Now, with Hooligans racing, you have to use a stock engine and a stock frame. That's the requirement to be a Hooligan, and they can run up to 1,200 cc's. Ethan Rosine still up front on that Harley. Barry's running second on the Honda. Dave Kilkenny is running in third place, number 35, and he's on the Harley-Davidson also. As we see Ethan Rosine taking that outside line, but it's not working for him as Blake Berry now takes the lead. Second place is Dave Kilkenny. So we got that 750 Honda, maybe 800 Honda, and right behind him is that 900 or 1200 Sportster. 1 lap to go. Down the back chute. It's like 35 is taking the lead and going on to pick up the win. First heat race for the Hooligans. Right here at Wadsworth County Fairgrounds, Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Second Hooligans heat race. And as the flag goes green, they blast off into the first corner. Let me repeat about the Hooligans rule. It's a stock street bike frame and engine. That's what is a Hooligan. That's why so many of these riders are riding Harley-Davidson Sportsters. And we see Terry Vestal up front. Second place is like Low Bronstad. Third place looks like Tony Giorno. Tony Giorno is running Pete Pulaski's old Harley-Davidson Sportster. As we see the battle continue up front between Terry Vestal and Lowell Bronstad. Terry Vestal is sponsored by Hughes Harley-Davidson, Redline Cycles, Bell Helmets, S&S Cycles. Lowell Bronstad is sponsored by Project Charlie Snake. As we see Tony Giorno go by on that Harley-Davidson Sportster. Tony Giorno owns and is sponsored by Redline Cycle in Kenosha. As we see Terry Vestal continue to lead. Bronstad's giving a good battle as we see Tony Giorno one more time on that Harley-Davidson going on to pick up the win. It is Terry Vestal on the Hughes Harley-Davidson and a chance to catch up with Tony Giorno. Let's hear what he's got to say about this racetrack.
Tony Giorno from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Going around in circles, having fun.
So what classes you running?
Running the vintage class today, and then the Hooligan class.
So what are you riding in the Hooligan?
Pete Pulaski's old Sportster, which Terry Vestal owns now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what number's on that?
27X.
Okay, I see.
So 27 is going to be the real fast one. X is going to be a little farther back.
So how was the track today?
It's challenging today. It's a little rough. It's a little rough and slippery, so. Taco's not too bad, but the Sportster is a little more of a challenge, so.
Quite a handful, right?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Tony, and good luck in the final as they blast off the line. Hooligans jumping out front. It is a battle between Ethan Rosine and Terry Vestal down the back chute. Terry Vestal's up front on that Hughes Harley-Davidson Bell helmet. As we follow him around the entire racetrack. Terry Vestal continues the lead. Moving up to second, looks like 35 has now moved to seconds. It's David Kilkenny. He's from Waukesha, Wisconsin. He's on a Harley-Davidson. Third place looks like Low Bronson, 783. Fourth place is like Blake Berry on that Honda. He's number 59. Ethan Rosine has dropped back to fifth. Terry Vestal, what a great rider. I've probably been friends with Terry for the last 50 years. He is sponsored by Jeff Rydell, Hughes Harley-Davidson, The Shop, Dayton, Redline Cycles, Boswell Harley-Davidson, Spectra Oil, Bell Helmets, S&S Cycle, and Light Shoe. As he continues the lead, looking great in second place. It is that Dave Kilberry. looks like he may be able to run down Terry, third place. The Slow Grandstand. The Honda's running fourth place at Blake Berry. But nobody can match Terry Vestal on this racetrack. Sixth place is Matt Johnson. Seventh place is Tony Giorno. Eighth place went to Markovich. As we see Terry Vestal continue to lead, looking great. And at Hughes Harley-Davidson, he's starting to lap some riders. But he will not be denied putting on a good race, though. Number 35, that is Dave Kilkenny, also on a Harley-Davidson, running the wheels off that bike, but I don't think he's going to be able to run down and picking up the win. Terry Vestal on that Hughes Harley-Davidson Redline Cycle and Bell helmet. What a great race. For more information on the AMA, American Motorcycle Association, their website is AmericanMotorcyclist.com. District 16 is AMADistrict16.com for more information about racing in Wisconsin. As we look at some more Team Chicago helmet cam footage from 2018, to contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. I love to hear from my audience. Remember, you can always search on YouTube at Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action. And I highly encourage you to visit the World of Motorcycle Museum, Winamac, Indiana, 4 miles south of North Judson on Indiana 39. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles.